Well, it's Wellness Wednesday, and we're going to talk about some heart issues because February is Heart Month. It's right around the corner. Joining us today, he is the EMS and Injury Prevention Outreach Coordinator at Mercy Health St. Rita's Medical Center, Brian Anderson. Thanks for coming today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay, so February is Heart Month. We focus on the heart. So give us signs and symptoms of a heart attack, please.
So anytime somebody would be feeling pain in their chest, mid-sternal pain that might radiate to their back or to their shoulders or even up to their neck, sometimes you hear people complain of some unexplained nausea and vomiting that goes along and accompanies that chest pain. Anytime we would have something like that, we would advise people to say, consider that it could be coming from something cardiac, and we would advise people to seek treatment at that point.
Okay, so those are general symptoms for everyone. Are they different between men and women?
Those are very, very generalized symptoms. So you bring up a good point. Men and women sometimes do present differently, where men, would tend to have that mid-sternal chest pain as kind of a classical sign and symptom. Women, sometimes they say, present more with like an indigestion or a heartburn type pain. The other thing that presents differently is, so our elderly patients sometimes present differently because they feel pain differently. And sometimes diabetics may not feel pain at all, but just have that indigestion or that nausea and vomiting type feeling. So there are different presentations. We talk about the classic signs and symptoms of heart attack, but anytime somebody would be feeling something that just doesn't feel right, it's key to seek treatment.
Mm-hmm. And you talk about seeking treatment. Is it best to call 911 or have someone drive you in?
Well, I'm clearly biased. You told my title at St. Rita's, but always best to call 911. So sometimes there's a thought, right, that I can drive myself and get to the hospital faster than what the ambulance can get here and get me to the hospital. So I understand that thought, but it's not safe, because sometimes when you're having chest pain, when maybe it's a heart attack, you could lose consciousness, you could pass out. And so what people really don't think about is, what if I am that person who passes out as I'm driving? Well, now you're not going to receive the treatment you need in the time you need, number one. And number two, you're also putting anyone else on the road at risk. If you lose consciousness and wreck your car, maybe you hit another car. So there's all kinds of negatives that happen when people try to drive themselves. And unfortunately, we see year to year at St. Rita's, 40 to 50% of our heart attack victims present driving their own car to the hospital.
Wow.
So we'd like to flip that number.
Yes. We
would like to see that number be as small as it can be. And I would always advocate, call your local fire and EMS, call 911. That's what they're there for. And we work hand in hand with our EMS providers at St. Rita's to get the quickest treatment to those patients that we can.
Yeah, because we don't know, explain, but I mean, there are things happening behind the scenes. When that call comes in, do you guys have a heart situation? You guys are prepping and ready, right? Right.
So all the fire and EMS in this area, whether they're full-time, part-time, volunteer departments, and we have all those in this area, all those fire and EMS professionals are trained. And so in the back of the squad, they start the same treatment that we're going to do in the ER. So they'll get your vital signs. They'll do a 12-lead EKG, which is key. When they're sitting in the back of that ambulance in front of your house, they can transmit that 12-lead EKG to us at the hospital. And so if you or a family member or loved one would be having a heart attack, they can send that information to us and we'll know before you even get there. So that allows us at the hospital then to get the cath lab ready, which is where you need to go for treatment to fix that problem. And so our goal is that when fire and EMS come in our doors in the ER, you go straight up to the cath lab. Mm-hmm. So using your local resources, your fire and EMS responders in your community is the only way that can happen.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So now, 911, call if you have any
Absolutely.
problems or any thoughts about heart.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thanks for coming today.
All right, well, thanks for having me on.
All right, don't go away. First Edition continues in a moment.